Alright everyone, it hasn't even been 12 hours yet since the release of Tag Team Arena, and I've already found 10 things wrong with it. How crazy is that? That's almost one thing wrong that I found per hour. So what I wanted to do today is go over this list of 10 things wrong with the Tag Team Arena, but I was also reminded by the Diamonds to try to be constructive with videos like this. So I wanted to, of course, share with you guys the things wrong with Tag Team Arena, but I also wanted to provide some constructive criticism on maybe things Plarium can do in order to help these issues. So let's start off here with number 1 on the list, and this has to do with the ranking system. Now, something that you'll notice is that the ranking system actually takes up several things on this list of 10 things wrong with Tag Team Arena because it is a mess right now. But the first thing wrong with the ranking system is the fact that you can only actually rank up once per week. That means that it's going to be an incredibly slow grind in order to end up getting all the way to Gold 4. And if you take a look at the Arena rewards here, you'll see that there are one-time placement rewards depending on where you actually get to. But if you can only actually rank up once per week, it's going to take something like 11 weeks for anybody to even see themselves getting into Gold 4. Now, who knows, this might be addressed, fixed sometime before then, or maybe they'll end up introducing a system where you can actually get multiple rank ups per week, but right now, that's going to be a long grind to get these rewards. So that's number 1 on the list right there. Now, number 2 also has to do with the ranking system, but it has to do with the way that the ranking system is actually visually represented. So this is something that I actually got incorrect in my last video, where I talked about one of the major mistakes with the Tag Team Arena is putting too many resources in and then not actually getting enough points in order to rank up to the next tier. Obviously, that's a huge mistake because you will have just wasted a bunch of resources and not gotten anything in return. And in that example, I talked about this number right here. I believe it was 1988 in the last video, but in this video, you guys can see that it is now 2,332. And the information that I was actually given by Plarium was this number represented the number of points that you need in order to rank up. So the number of points that you would need in order to turn this yellow bar right here to a green bar. And there's 3 different colors and 3 different bars. The yellow one, which is the one that you see right here, is the neutral one. This means that you are not going to rank up, but you're not going to rank down. Then you've got the green bar, which means that you are going to rank up a tier at the weekly reset, which would be in 6 days and 10 hours. And then, of course, there is the first bar here, which would be red, and that would mean that you would actually rank down a tier. And I believe you can actually take a look at this info somewhere in the Tag Team Arena screen. I'm not sure if it's this one right here. Here it is. So this also explains what the bars look like and the details of that right there. But you can see, even based on this example, is that second number is not actually the number of points that you need in order to change the color of your bar, but it looks like this is actually the number that represents whoever is at the top of your placements in the tier that you currently are. So I don't need to get 2,338 points. As long as I get enough to fill this bar, that should be good to go. Now, the problem with this is now you kind of have to guess how many points you need in order to get a green bar. You have to go just based off of the visual indicator. And I've also been told by Plarium that the visual indicator is not the best representation of your actual points here. So it's kind of weird, and it's set up in a way to actually get you to waste even more resources, because if you don't know exactly how many points you actually need to rank up, then you don't know how many resources you have to use in order to actually get your rank up and to get your bar to green. So in a way, it's actually even worse than the system that I explained in the last video. But a very important correction is this is not the number of points you need to the next rank up. Even Plarium didn't actually know the answer to that correctly, but rather, as long as you get your bar green, you should be good to go. So really hope that they end up making this change sometime in the future, especially given how the tokens work. They only refresh once per day. You'd have to spend a lot of gems and a lot of guesswork to, really get the system refined in a way to reliably get your rank ups properly. So I have a guess that it's going to be pretty unrealistic for a lot of people, especially as they get into the higher tiers, in order to get their weekly rank ups just based off of the free tokens that they get each week. That's probably not going to last for very long. So that's problem number 2 with the ranking system. And now problem number 3, the last one for now that has to do with the ranking system, is any extra points or overkill seems like it's just going to end up going to waste, especially right now. before the introduction of the Bazaar, what's really the incentive for whoever this person is here that has 2,338 points? It's clear that they're going to have enough points in order to stay safe and rank up, but is there really any reason for them to get more points than besides just to make it more difficult for everybody else? The answer to that is, as of right now, not really. It's not like you get anything else for actually getting successful victories besides more ranking points. So as long as you comfortably get somewhere into a green bar and you feel safe that before the ranking period actually ends, you're not going to fall out of it, there's really no reason to actually push too much harder than that besides just making it more difficult for everybody else. So I hope that's another problem that they end up addressing with the ranking system as well. So now let's move on to number 4, and this one has to do with the Bazaar. So the Bazaar, of course, is going to be the arena shop. It is not in the game right now, and a lot of people are wondering, when is the Bazaar going to be coming out? And this is a really big question, especially given the information that you can only actually rank up once per week. Now, if you could only rank up once per week, that means that it's going to take a pretty long time in order for people to actually get all the way up to gold 4, right? It's going to take 11 weeks or so in order to get here and get these rewards. So it's going to be a long grind for that. But does that mean that the Bazaar is not actually going to come out until there's a reasonable number of people that have actually grinded their way all the way up to gold 4? And I actually have a little bit of information about this, but it's not 100% confirmed, so I'm going to be careful not to give specific dates. But I have heard from sources at Plarium, the Diamond, of course. I'm sure you guys are familiar with the Diamond already, but I have heard that they are going to be introducing, or at least have plans to introduce, the Bazaar before that 11-week period. Now, again, exact date, I wish I knew the answer. I wish I could tell you guys, but we all know that specific dates and Plarium is not really a very good duo right there. So, they also told me, please stay away from mentioning specific dates because plans could easily change. So that's a problem as well right there. Now let's move on to number 5 on the list. And this also has to do with the Bazaar. Now, if the Bazaar actually does end up coming out before the, people end up getting up to gold 4, the amount of coins and currency that you actually get to spend in the Bazaar, is it really going to be worth it? Like, what's going to be the best course of action? And of course, we're not really able to accurately determine this, not knowing anything about the Bazaar. The only thing that we actually have to work with are these rewards right here. So it's going to take a major grind in order to get up to gold 4. And your reward, of course, will be these artifact sets, silver chickens, and some tomes. But is the amount of tokens and the grind in order to get these rewards, is it worth it? Or would it just be better in order to wait for the Bazaar to come out and then really put a lot of your resources into it? Now, of course, still make sure to use your free tokens daily. I mean, they're free, might as well, but I would definitely be careful about refills or investing too many resources, whether you're pay to play or even if you're free to play. Just be careful. I already did one refill just to show you guys what it looks like for video purposes, but you can see that each refill is going to increase the price, and not really knowing how good the Bazaar rewards makes me very skeptical to go too crazy before it's actually released right there. So that's number 5. Now moving on to number 6, and we're getting back into the fundamentals about how the Tag Team Arena works and the defense. Now, this is going to probably turn out to be a really big problem, given the fact that we only actually get a very limited number of Tag Team Arena tokens for free each day. So unlike regular arena tokens, they do not reset every hour. They only reset once per day at the regular reset time. So that's 5 runs that you get for free each day. The problem is, if a lot of people start to buy refills, especially that first one that only costs 15 gems, it's going to make sense that there's going to be a lot of people that start attacking you, and it's going to really lower your score a lot. And the amount of battles that you actually take as a defense versus the number of battles that you're able to do as an attacker, if this ratio is too far off, it's going to be really difficult in order to keep up here. And what this all really boils down to is Whale Wars. Depending on how many refills people buy and how much people actually play the Tag Team Arena, it could make it incredibly difficult for the vast majority of people to really get too much fun out of the system. So a little bit difficult to actually tell right now. We'll just kind of have to see how this develops over time right there. But that is number 6 on the list. Now, number 7 has to do with the refresh, right? So very similar to the regular arena, we have a list of battles that we can go through here. It costs 1 token per battle, but we also have the option to refresh the list for free every 15 minutes, which is great. I love the fact that it's 15 minutes and not a longer time, but the cost to refresh it in terms of gems is 15, whereas in the regular classic arena, the cost to refresh it in gems is 5, yet the timer is also 15 minutes. So, this is really just even more of that whole whale wars, whale mode, whatever you want to call it, is the time to refresh is still the same, 15 minutes, but now all you're doing is charging people 3 times as much in order to refresh it. I guess it makes sense in a weird way because you're facing 3 teams instead of 1, but I still feel like it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense when you kind of compare that the actual timer in the classic arena is still 15 minutes to refresh, just like tag team, but the cost is 5 gems. So whatever you do though, do not increase the actual timer. If anything, just decrease the amount of gems that it takes to refresh. I'm guessing there's not going to be a whole lot of people refreshing for 15 gems anyway, but who knows? I don't really know. Maybe the crazy whales will actually prove me wrong on that one, but that is number 7 right there. Now, the next thing, number 8 on the list, is the tokens. So you get 5 tokens per day. You can kind of make of that as you will. That's in comparison to the 24 plus tokens that we get from Arena once per hour. But don't forget that we also actually get a free Arena bag every day from the Playtime rewards and an additional 5 Arena tokens just from the regular daily quests as well. So technically, you can get up to 39, but that would have to require you to always be logging in. Probably 35 to 39 is more realistic for a lot of people in comparison to the 5 Tag Team Arena tokens that you get. So that's a really, really big difference. And of course, what that means is this system really does encourage people to spend. I know the first refresh is only 15 gems, but that's going to add up to be quite a bit every single day. Reminder that you only actually get 10 gems every single day from the daily completion. So you're already, if you just do the cheap Tag Team Arena refresh every single day, that's already costing you more than the number of gems that you get from completing all your daily quests. So that's how they get you sucked in here. And just based off of the amount of tokens we get for Tag Team, the amount of tokens we get for Classic Arena, it's just pointing back to those 2 words again, Whale Wars, Whale Mode, whatever you want to call it. So I wish they could do some optimization with this over time. All right, now number 9. Let's get back to the actual one-time rewards here for your placements. And I want to talk a little bit more about these artifact sets that they are giving out, the deflection and the swift parry sets. Now, these are rewards for the one-time placements in Tag Team Arena, but as of right now, the only other information that we have on how to get more of these is Platinum Arena. And I'm really not a fan of this tactic of, giving everybody a couple of these artifacts for free, but then making it very clear that the only way you're going to be able to get more of them is by competing for the top 300 in Platinum. And the reason why this is an even bigger problem is because in order for these artifact sets to work really well, you're going to need several pieces. Like 1 or 2 of them is not going to do the trick. And it's going to be very, very unlikely that you're going to get 4 really good artifacts out of 6. When you count for all the ones that are going to roll junk stats, it's just not going to happen. You're going to end up with probably a broken, unusable set with no realistic way for most people in order to get more of them. So my remedy for this, I hope that they introduce these artifacts in the actual bazaar so we don't have to worry about that, because if they don't, that's going to be pretty unfortunate for most people to get these artifacts, but then not actually be able to put them to good use. So that is number 9. And of course, number 10 is just simply the amount of time that it's even going to take to get these rewards. I've been talking about 11 weeks, of course. That's kind of been the magic number, because if you can get promoted once per week at the weekly reset, in order to move all the way through from Bronze 1 to Gold 4, that is going to take 11 weeks. So it's going to be a really long time before we even start to see these rewards. And even though they've mentioned that they plan on releasing the Bazaar sometime before then, I think that if anything, this is just a hint at how slow the climb in Tag Team Arena is going to be, that it's still probably going to be a pretty slow pace for more content in the game to be released. Because to my knowledge right now, and again, everything from Plarium now is subject to change, so nothing is 100% confirmed, but my understanding is the Bazaar is actually the next big feature that we are actually getting in the game. So don't expect anything too big, including the Void Tower, of course, for a long time to come. So anyway, this is just 10 things. Again, Tag Team Arena's only been out for, less than 12 hours. Now, I'm sure in a couple of days, I'll have found even more things to talk about, but, I wanted to get this out there. Let me know what you guys think about this. And Plarium, if you're listening, I wanted to provide a couple little things that you can do to, help fix or remedy these problems as well. So with that being said, that's going to be it for the video. I hope that you enjoyed, and if you did and you want more videos like this in the future, consider subscribing to the channel. Feel free to leave a quick like as well. It means more than you can imagine, so thank you so much to all of you who decide to do that. And more Raid Shadow Legends videos, guides, tutorials, all that fun stuff should be in the videos above or in your suggested videos to your right or below. Feel free to check them out, but if not, until next time, take care everyone, and this is Salt of the Salty Guild, signing out.